Your San Jose Sharks traveled to Anaheim to, I guess, kind of finish a 3-game road trip, even though they were in San Jose. We'll break down this one. A rough loss, a controversial loss, perhaps. We'll also break down the Barracuda and a lot more right now. Thanks for joining us here on Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is Friday night, January 6, 2023, and the San Jose Sharks lose in overtime to the Anaheim Ducks 5-4. We welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks post-game show and Barracuda show. We'll get to both games on tonight's show in just a moment, but of course, we want you to be a part of the show. This is an interactive experience, so join the conversation and chat with us and fellow Sharks fans all over the world in Sharks territory on the YouTube page or the app. Of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, TikTok, and find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you feel like supporting the podcast, Venmo us at tealtownusa or use a super chat donation. And we want to say good evening to Mr. Ian Reid. Hi, bud. How's it going?
It's going. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Double check your mic. I think it sounds a little weird. I don't know if getting a little bit of a...
Give me a second here.
You're good. While you do that, we will say to those of you who are missing Brody's night shift, we do this after every game, so feel free on joining us and being a part of the show. We'll get to your comments in the YouTube chat in just a little bit. So I know he said his thing was paused, and we're here to help to get you through the frustration of this game. like, my goodness. So
how about now?
Way better, bud. Thank you so much. It's good to have you on. How are you doing tonight?
It's good.
Good and bad. It's meh. It's all right.
It's whatever.
So let's get to this. The chat's fired tonight already. So Big Bird, I waited all this time. They had all this time off, and this is the hockey, the Sharks. This is a well-rested team. Can't wait to hear these excuses. Won this game, but the NHL needed overtime. S is fixed. Bozosaurus, that offside call was a joke. Hurdle strikes again with another turnover. Rabby the daddy, those linesmen need to be benched for a few games, so clearly offside. We'll get to that one as that was the tying goal. In a little bit. I mean, it's tough to call it, but there is some precedence into it, and the broadcast went over it tonight as well. So let's get started with Sharks and Ducks. The Sharks, off since New Year's Day, actually went home to San Jose for a little bit and then went down. And guess what? They got a game on Saturday night against Boston. Oh, Lordy, that'll be fun. But things got going really nice really early. You had Matt Nieto looking sharp as cheddar. He gets his 7th goal. Barabanov really looked like he was on his game tonight, Ian.
Yeah, Barabanov is great. He continues to be great. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a good setup for Nieto's goal. I mean, Nieto has more goals now than at this point in the season than he had all last year. So I think that's a positive. I think, Matt Nieto gets probably a justifiable amount of crap from this fan base, I think. But, look, if he can increase that trade value, because I mean that's all you can hope for at this point now, right? It's just guys that are on the last year of their deal. Maybe they increase their trade value. Maybe a contender takes a swing on them, whatever, for whatever reason. You might want Matt Nieto on your team. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He makes it 1-0, and then about 6 minutes later, Steven Lawrence tips in Erik Karlsson shot. Nice to see. Gadjevich gets the assist on that one as well to make it 2-0. Karlsson now with a 14-game point streak. He's getting up there. I think the record now is 17 games by a defenseman. I think with at least one assist in there. So he's on his way to potentially breaking records now.
Yeah, I mean, look at Erik Karlsson's had a hell of a season. I don't think there's any way around it at this point. Like, he's significantly leading all defensemen for points. I mean, I know that he is a polarizing figure in this fan base, and I'm sure, it'll be like, because this year it'll be, the Sharks would have had a better draft pick wasn't for Erik Karlsson. So I mean, you can't win, right?
No.
But it is what it is, right? It's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. It's Erik Karlsson. Everyone's gonna be mad at him for something. I'm sure that's what they're mad at him for now.
Of course. How dare
he's living up to his contract? How dare he fucking screw our draft pick up? Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Yeah, that's. I'm sure. I don't have to look at the chat.
No.
It's there.
It's gonna be. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know how it's gonna go. I'm not. I've been around this fan base a little bit of time.
Oh man, but yes, Karlsson extends his point streak to 14 games, and then just a few seconds later, Sam Carrick needs to do something, so he drops the gloves with Jonah Gadjevich in there. I thought
Gadjevich kills him.
Yeah, but yet it gets the Ducks going. After that, the Ducks outshoot the Sharks the rest of the period 7-2. At the time it was 11-3 in the shot range, and the parade to the penalty box because we can't get their crap together, and Trevor Zegras things. He gets his 11th, and then Hurdle goes.
What a shot by Trevor Zegras, dude! Like,
oh god.
Not like, I was surprised that he's only got 11 on the season. I mean, I know the Ducks are bad, and obviously, so maybe I shouldn't be surprised. But I'm surprised like a guy like Trevor Zegras only has 11 goals on the season. It's sad. He's so good.
He's a freaking magician, and I we got most of the series out of the way, so Zegras can go on and do his craziness. I don't think I've seen a Michigan yet. He does his things, cuts the lead down to 1. Then the Sharks get into some penalty trouble. Hurdle goes off for removing Vetrano's helmet. You get a double minor high stick for Lawrence, high sticking Jacob Megan, his brother. Thankfully, the Ducks power play sucks. So that gets you through it. But then, of course, Strome gets a goal like late in the period. It's interesting to me. They have Strome, Vetrano, Zegras. You would expect them to be a little bit better than they've been. I don't understand why they aren't.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the Ducks play enough outside of their games against the Sharks, so I don't really want to. You would think that offense wouldn't be as much of a problem for them as maybe it's been. But I don't know. Again, it's hard though when you're a team that has given up as many goals as the Ducks have. I think more than anyone else in the league. Like it's deflating, right? I mean, we've watched the Sharks at times where they can't get a save, and it takes you out of a game really quick. And the Ducks, I mean, like again, their goal differential is just brutal. 162 goals against this year to 95 for. I mean, it's hard when you're constantly giving up goals. I think even it gets a little deflating after a while, and the Ducks have been bad. And that's based on what we've seen from them playing the Sharks this year. I haven't really watched them otherwise. I don't really go out of my way to watch bad teams play hockey unless it's the Barracuda.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're not wrong there. So tie it up at 2-2 after that. Then the second period, I thought the Sharks really dominated the second period, and it showed in the shot meter 20-9. You get Meier. Originally, these 2 goals were credited to LeBanc. Now they finally adjusted it both. Meier gets his 22nd and 23rd on
I'm
tips.
surprised that he got the second one. Like the first one, I thought was pretty sure was his just watching the replay. But the second one, I'm surprised that Meier got a tip on that. I have to go back and watch it again because I didn't see it. But I mean, good. I mean, good on LeBanc. I think LeBanc's had a really good year this year. As far as, again, guys that have had kind of polarizing, that are polarizing with this fan base. But I think Kevin LeBanc's had a pretty decent year of redemption for himself. I don't know if it's enough that, is he still a guy that the Sharks might want to move? I'm not sure. But I think he's had a pretty good year this year, especially considering how he ended last year. Obviously new coach, you get new opportunities, but he couldn't buy his way out of Bugner's doghouse last year. So I don't know. I give Kevin LeBanc a lot of credit because I thought his years in Teal may be numbered, and I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, he's really come on strong, especially being put on that line with Meier and Hurdle. Definitely fits in a lot better than being on the 4th line where, Bugner had him for a good chunk of last season before he got hurt. So nice to see. And you have LeBanc at what, he's got this season and next season, and then he's a UFA. Yep. So, for a guy who's got a decent LeBanc, a decent contract at $4.725 million.
I don't know if it's decent. I mean, it's okay for what he's doing now, but I don't know. See, and that's the thing. That's a tricky thing too, right? Like, I don't know. I don't think the Sharks want to, like, I feel like there was a point where I thought the Sharks couldn't offload that contract quick enough. Now I wonder if they take it into next year and then maybe try to move it next year instead of, like, not that the Sharks are going anywhere anytime soon, but I don't think they want to. They'd probably have to retain salary on if they moved LeBanc now, and I don't know if that's the play. I know the Sharks are supposed to be not great still, and they have a bunch of dead cap space anyway, but I don't know how much more they want to add to it. If that makes any sense.
I get you, because I mean you're sitting on Jones's buyout still. Of course, everybody's talking about, okay, you're buying out Vlasic. I mean, there's going to be that. I mean, how much more do you want to do?
I don't know.
To be quite honest. So, and don't forget Rudolph Spalser's one, which is still a head scratcher.
Yeah, that's nothing though.
True, but so we'll see. I mean, it's
who's
definitely
up their trade. Ricky asking who up their trade value more, LeBanc or Nieto. I mean,
both, really.
Probably, yeah. I mean, both. I don't know. Again, it's hard because, like, Nieto's on the last year of his deal, so obviously that will make him far more appealing than LeBanc with the year left at 4.7. So I'm gonna say Nieto. Even though I think LeBanc's been really good, I just don't think there's no one has cap space right now. Like, teams that are looking for players don't have a ton of cap space, so I don't think anyone's going to want to take that whole deal on for an extra year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, completely. So I honestly, I think both of them have. You're not going to get the same value out of if you were to remove LeBanc. I think you get a little more trade value with him versus Matt Nieto. So we'll see. It's going to be these next 2 months, Ian, are going to be very interesting as to see who stays, who goes, and what are they going to do, and it depends on who needs what. Like AJ's putting in here, who's more appealing, who needs offense, and who needs a solid PK who can have a bit of a scoring touch. So
yeah, I don't know. I just think, like, again, like, I don't think this deadline is going to be super exciting. And I say that, and teams will find a way, but everyone is so capped out that I just, like, a lot of teams are like trying to use like IR to kind of, just to kind of stay even. I wonder if this is going to be a really, really quiet trade deadline.
Or could it perhaps be one where you retain salary to make it even sweeter to get
But
something?
but then you're not taking on extra years, right? You're taking pure rentals at that point. You're not going to take anyone with term.
That's true, and not the least of which, you have to figure out Timo in that form too. But I digress. Getting back into it, so Timo makes it 3-2. Then Mason McTavish with one of those stanchion goals that just happens to go right on his stick. Hey, Kakkonen made a big save originally, but it goes in to tie up at 3.
Yeah, I mean, again, some goalies just shouldn't try to play the puck, and Kaapo Kakkonen is one of them. I don't want to. I'm not going to pin this game on him specifically, but he's done nothing to change my opinion on him. I don't think he's particularly good, and I'm glad he's only on for another year.
And for that matter, I mean, yeah, I lost my train of thought there, but it's just like he hasn't convinced me that he is the number one goalie in the future. I think it's. At this point, it's a stopgap.
So. I don't see it, but there are people that still do. I don't see it, and it's just because I hate goalies, of course. So
of course,
whatever.
So that made it 3-3. Then Meier gets credit for the tip goal, which we aren't sure. I thought that was a LeBanc one-timer that went in. That was just 14 seconds after Anaheim tied it. Oh, beauty of a shot. Great setup by Matt Benning there, but Matt Benning
giveth, Matt Benning taketh away.
There you go. Thank you. And he gets it taken away later on. Now let's get to the controversy at hand. McTavish scores to make it 4-4. A lengthy review on a coach's challenge by David Quinn, who was 3 for 3 going into tonight's game on challenges. First off, I know you were going back and forth between the Sharks and Kuhre. Did you see the review, and what did you think of the call?
So at first, when I saw the play, I'm like, this is clearly offside. This is a mile offside. Like, what is taking so long here?
Right.
But because this is tag up offside and blah, 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 I understand. I don't like the call, but I understand how they got there. Because what they're saying is because who had the puck crossing the line?
Fowler.
Okay, so they're saying when Fowler crossed the line with the puck, he wasn't, like, if he was touching, because he wasn't touching the puck before dude gets his foot back on tag, before dude can tag up. That's what they're saying, and I kind of get that. I kind of understand it. I understand the principle behind it. I don't like it. I feel like offside should be this super easy cut and dry thing, and they just make it more complicated as they go to try and, I don't know, to make it more complicated for the sake of complication. Reading the rule, I understand how they got there. I don't like it. Yeah. I still think it's kind of dumb. I'm not like, but I can understand how they got there. I'm less mad about it now than I was when I initially watched it. I don't know. I don't like, again, I think they've added all these things to offside to make it just as confusing as humanly possible. So I understand how they got there. I don't like it. I mean, the play itself is hilarious because, like, they come in and then he shoots through 4 Sharks, basically. All the Sharks converge on the shooter, but no one can block the shot, and Kakkonen can't make a save. So the goal itself is hilarious in itself, but then to have that offside review and have people, a lot of people are really pissed, and I get it. I understand. Like, my initial look on it when I saw it originally was that is such cut and dry offside, but the takeoff fight, again, the way they've had to convolute offside so much with the tag up offside, and is it just covering the plane? Is the skate on the ice? Like, I feel like the rules change every 2 years on offside. I don't like it. I think I can understand why Quinn is upset about it. I understand why Sharks fans are upset about it, but I kind of see how they got there, so I'm kind of indifferent to it now. So if you were expecting an epic Ian rant about this, I apologize for disappointing.
No, I get it, because it's one of those ones like, oh wow, this is completely offside. No way that's a goal. Like you were, but then after they
I think
explained it,
when
they
they
called
yeah
the
when they ref made when they made the announcement, I think like my Twitter was just how in capital letters exclamation mark like. But once explained it and then going and taking a look at the role, and I see how they got there. I don't like it. Again, I think it's simple things made complicated.
It's similar to the goal that Cale Makar had in the playoffs last year, where he didn't touch the puck until it got over the blue line, and then they called it okay, which I'm like, how is that possible? But now that they've had presidents, you're going to see this happen a lot more, unfortunately. Nonetheless, Anaheim ties it up 4-4. Overtime happens. Hurdle loses a puck battle along the boards. It gets, brought up to McTavish, who I think he had a 4-point night, if I'm not mistaken. Gets it to Terry, feeds it to Klingberg. Good night. Drive home safely. Have fun at Disneyland. I think it's open for another 2 hours. Go get another churro. Ducks win 5-4. And freaking Anthony Stolarz does it to the Sharks again.
No, I mean, Anthony Stolarz wasn't good. Did he do it to the Sharks, really? Or did the Sharks do it to themselves?
Well, I mean, 37 saves on 41 shots. I mean, he had a little bit to do with it, but was he is classic stealing the game, classic Stolarz versus the Sharks? No.
No,
but,
I don't think he was that. I don't think he was like, yeah, I mean, okay, fine. Yeah, 37 saves is a good night, but I don't know. I didn't think like the Sharks didn't get goalied.
No, they didn't. No.
I'm not hearing it.
No. They blew a 2-0 lead. They were going into this game 9-1-2, leading after 2 periods. They're now 9-1-3. They're now 8-8-4 when scoring first. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And Anaheim's allowed 4 goals in every game this season against the Sharks. So it's not that they're not getting dominated with the goalie, but the Sharks are just trying to find a way. Found a way to lose this one. And now they get on the plane and head back to San Jose tonight and hope to make it before curfew and play Boston tomorrow. Oh, the joy. A couple of things on here. AJ mentioning, I thought Roxy did great tonight. Sharks consider locking him up to succeed Randy when he's ready to call it a career. Roxy actually filled in for Dan Rusanowski when Dan Rusanowski had his car accident back in 2000. Did a great job with radio calls. And as I teased on Twitter, he was one of my line mates when we played adult hockey together in 2002. We worked together, or excuse me, 2001. When we worked together with the XFL San Francisco Demons. So but Roxy did a great job tonight. I know you watch here and there, so appreciate it. Thank you so much. Great job. Sharks fans, thank you for being a good play-by-play announcer. Some of the comments from the locker room from Quinn. I liked a lot of our game tonight, but I think we thought it would be easy. They get a lucky bounce, a goal that was offside. We gave away 2 points.
Yeah, this loss tonight was 100% self-inflicted.
Yeah, we've Timo Meier. We find ways to give them chances, even though we outplayed and outshot them. We just find ways to lose. We had plenty of chances. We could have had 1 or 2 more. LeBanc, everything was there. Defense and offense. It comes down to finishing and getting the 2 points and we didn't.
Was the defense there though? Because I don't think Kaapo Kähkönen was good tonight, but and his defense did him no fucking favors.
No.
Like, was the defense good? Really? I don't think so. But okay. Sure, Jan.
From Timo, we have to do more to help the team win. Yeah, I knew I tipped both of Kevin's goals. Good plays by him to get to the puck to the net. So, Timo's
Kevin
sure.
LeBank's, like I said, Kevin LeBank's had a good year.
Yeah, and that whole line's been clicking.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we might have missed a little bit with Barabanov going to the second line, but
Yeah, I leave Barracuda with Hurdle.
So we'll see.
Or with Meier, yeah. Like, stop it.
Meier said we were pretty sure it was offside, but they have all the angles, and it's not for me to judge. Way to get around that fine.
Yeah, don't get a fine. Good job.
It's just frustrating to lose another we had. Yeah. I completely concur on that one.
Yeah, like, again though, like, so even if you don't like the offside call, right? But it's like, that's not the story. And you can make it the story if you want, but I don't think that's the story.
No, I mean, yes, it is the tying goal, but as we've heard that word demoralizing come through this team many times this year, you can't let that get to you. You got to go out and get hungry. You're Sharks, for fucking sakes. So, we'll put a close to this one unless you had any final thoughts on the Sharks game.
No.
All right, let's move.
When the Sharks do bad, it's bad.
There we go.
It's good right now. I mean, it's
Hey, we'll get to how good it can be. Let's just say, but yeah, they picked up a point. Come on, guys. Speaking of picking up points.
Ooh, Barracuda.
Your San Jose Barracuda were in Ontario tonight, taking on the Reign, and Ian. All I'm gonna say is Thomas Bortolo.
Yeah, it's funny. I know, because I dragged the Barracuda earlier. I'm still smarting from the 8-game losing streak they had, but actually, last couple of games they have been actually pretty good. They beat the Henderson Silver Knights last couple days ago in overtime, and tonight they played the Ontario Reign, a team that has, for the most part, had their number this season. But I thought Aaron Dell had a really, really good night. Thomas Bortolo with 2 goals, and they, a couple of first goals too, a couple first AHL goals for Darren Brady and Will Rydell.
Sorry.
Yeah. Scored goals, their first AHL goals, which is nice to see guys get on the board like that, especially guys that are, PTO guys. So to have them kind of get to have that moment's really cool. I thought the Barracuda played good tonight. I mean, for the most, like, there was parts of the game where I thought they really hung with the Reign, which they've had trouble doing this season. And Cal Pettersson was in the net for the Reign, who he's had his struggles this year, but obviously he's overall, I think, is still a pretty good goalie, even though he's kind of struggled this year. The Barracuda, they held their own. I mean, some of the same stuff that we've been talking about for a while. They kind of got, they got into a little bit of penalty trouble where they ended up paying for it because the Reign would score goals, but they ended up scoring on their own power play. Again, Thomas Bortolo with 2 really nice goals, one from a ridiculous angle. I don't know how he scored it, from behind the goal line, and then another one where he just ripped the shot right in. Excuse me, sorry. So I mean, I thought, I, as much as I could, glancing back and forth and trying to keep up with what was going on in the Sharks game and the Barracuda game, but I thought the Barracuda played a really good game tonight, and they are now on a 2-game winning streak. Ryan Merkley didn't play this game. I guess he is on the trip, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets into a game or if they decide that they just don't feel like playing him. I mean, right now it's working. The last 2 games they haven't, that Merkley hasn't played in, they've won. I don't think there's any causation there. I know some people are be like, oh, see, they took him out of the lineup. The Barracuda are great now. I don't. I don't think there's causation there. I think overall I thought they played a good game. I said they did get in a little bit of penalty trouble, but not nearly the same amount of penalty trouble that we've seen them get in at other points this season. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they get going, because I think their next game is against Coachella.
Yeah, the next two are in Coachella Valley.
Yes, and Coachella Valley is really, really good. So I'm curious to see if the Sharks can kind of hold their own against Coachella Valley. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they do. If they can play a similar game to tonight and not just parade to the penalty box, and they can get good goaltending, which I thought Aaron Dell was so good tonight. After having a little bit of up and down lately, I think, with Aaron Dell, but tonight he was on top marks for Aaron Dell.
Yeah, 28.
See, I like goalies sometimes.
Sometimes, he says. 28 saves on 30 shots for Aaron Dell, as Ian mentioned. Also, Bordelot with 2 goals, 7 shots, a +1. Oh man, 17 goals on the year. I would have to think if there's going to be an all-star for the Cuda, it's got to be Bordelot at the very least.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bordelot for sure. You could probably make a case for William Eklund too, who also has a ton of points. Although Bordelot has goals, Eklund has a ton of assists though. So.
Yep. So they beat the Reign 4-2. They play Saturday night at 6 in Coachella Valley, and then they'll actually get a couple of days off, I guess, in SoCal, and then play another set of back-to-backs Tuesday at Coachella Valley. Then the next night on Wednesday, the 11th, they'll be in San Diego to take on the San Diego Gulls.
Yeah, the Gulls. I mean, the Gulls are a team that they should beat every time, but they're going to be in tough against Coachella, because Coachella has just done mean and unspeakable things to them this year.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting one. We'll get through that, and for sure you're going on Sunday. Maybe.
Sorry.
For sure you're going on Sunday with AJ and Jerk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So bonus Ian Reid coverage on Sunday night with the Pucknologists. So make sure you check out that as well. Moving onward, we'll talk about the World Juniors and why the Sharks should tank for Bedard. I mean, he had a hell of a tournament. So did Philip Bystedt.
Philip Bystedt had a really good, I think for a guy that we were all kind of about when he was drafted. I think there's a decent player there. World Juniors are tricky, and I think World Juniors, I love World Juniors, don't get me wrong. This is one of the 3 highlights of hockey highlights of the year for me. World Juniors, Stanley Cup playoffs, Memorial Cup. So it's in the big 3 for me. But I think sometimes people overvalue the tournament a little bit, as far as this guy did really good in the World Juniors, so he's going to be a superstar. But no, I thought, Philip Bystedt, I really liked his play. I thought he did really good for Sweden, who had a pretty up and down tournament. Obviously, they didn't medal, lost that crazy game with the Americans in the bronze medal game. Full marks to Czechia, though.
Oh, man.
Czechia was just they were like a dangerous team all through the tournament. Obviously, I think Canada probably took them a lot too lightly when they played them to open the tournament. But I thought Czechia was an interesting, they were the team that I really didn't want to see again, because I feel like they had that upset potential to kind of just upset anyone, and they kind of did. We kind of saw it. So
a good tournament all around for Sharks wise. I mean, Ben Gaudreau was the backup. He was a starter early on, but my mind is blanking, on on who the Canadian goaltender was, but they get the job done.
Milic.
Thank you. So good tournament all around. Connor Bedard, yeah.
Connor Bedard. I have come around on the Connor Bedard is generational. I've come around.
Yeah, no, he lit it up, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now I see why everybody's on Team Tank. Indeed. So a quick review on that. You need to save some for Pucknologists.
I do, yeah.
Okay. Don't worry, he will, AJ. It'll be fine. Real quickly before we get out of here, of course, we want to send congratulations to Erik Karlsson, who'll be making his 7th trip to the All-Star Game. My question to you is, Ian, along with the, so every team got a representative, even though the Sharks are one of the worst teams in the league. Shouldn't Timo Meier be in here?
Over Erik Karlsson?
No, but I mean, with the three people that can jump in with the vote.
I think you meant like, should Timo Meier be there instead of Erik Karlsson? I'm like, no, that is.
No.
Okay. It's hard. I don't know, man. Fan vote, whatever. I'm over it. Like, it's the All-Star Game. I don't care. Like, I wish I could give you like a better answer. I don't care. It's the All-Star Game.
That's the opinion I want to hear, and that's fine by me. To me, it's gonna be tough because you could put in Draisaitl, you can put in Nugent Hopkins, I would love for Timo to be there, but it's tough to when you make the vote like this, because who knows, it's tough. What can you do? And I don't know which goalie you put in for the second spot, because it's like, what, Skinner? I know Roxy Bernstein was getting crazy about Copley for LA, but I mean,
if yes, Copley would be interesting. I don't know
who else you could put in there. Reimer?
I don't know.
I mean, that'd be a little tough. So
it's hard because like there's really like none of the Pacific goalies have been super crazy. Like you've seen flashes of brilliance. Like I think
exactly.
Maybe like and because it's voting, like I could see a guy like Markstrom getting in.
Yeah, Markstrom. I guess. I mean, I can't see Skinner or Campbell.
No, Jack Campbell's not.
I mean, if Demko was healthy, maybe, but he's been rough.
I always, anytime there's voting, like especially like in a division like this, I kind of just be like, okay, so which Canadian team members are like players on Canadian teams are getting in?
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. You can vote online on the NHL's website to get Timo in, Draisaitl, Pavelski, Bernsey, all your favorites in there. So with that, though, I think, Jacob, no. I mean, you could look at, if fans want to vote Martin Jones in the All-Star Game, that's fine, but go look at his save percentage. That's all I'm going to say. No, people, no. But in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Odyssey. Of course, you're watching us on YouTube. Come on, 15 likes. Let's get that higher, folks. Hit that like button. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Over 2,900. Let's get the 3K before the season gets over and done with. Of course, hit that notification bell. That'll let you notify you when you go on the air. Yeah, or me, or you, or whoever.
It might notify. It'll notify whoever has hit the bell.
That's right. So hit that bell. So, all right. Ian, Reid, thank you so much as always. Your final thoughts, where the people can find you, and holy crap, it's Boston, and they're traveling from Anaheim tonight.
Yeah, Boston's been. I'm curious. I'm really looking forward to watching this game because I haven't really Boston's been great this year, which I didn't expect at all. So I'm curious to see why they are so good.
So he's at Ian Vlogs Hockey.
I am at Ian Blogs Hockey on the Twitter machine, and I promise I will have more energy tomorrow. I have been up since 5:45 today, so I am a little burnt now.
You need to go to bed, as do I. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with you following Sharks and Bruins. That is a Saturday night puck drop at 7:30. It is Next Generation card night. I'm curious if there's a Ryan Merkley card in there. Can't wait to find out. I will see you at the tank. Say hi. Landy will be here tomorrow. I hope. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
The conversation continues over on the Discord, so check us out there, or else we're going to bed and might snore on the voice chat. But until then, thanks for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. And until Saturday night, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. Sharks lose 5-4. Kuhre win 4-2. Good night.